guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Lay the Great, and we are here with my guest, Baleen, also my sister. And today we are going to be doing a review on Fruits Basket, which is a Japanese anime. And a quick background on Fruits Basket. The original, actually we are going to be talking about the remake, which came out this year, 2019, correct?
Yeah.
So we are going to be comparing the new anime to the old anime and sort of kind of to the manga as well. So just a quick background. The first anime, Fruits Basket, was released in 2001. Wow. About to read.
We're trying.
We are about to read the summary for you guys off of IMDb. So go ahead.
Take two. After her mother's death, Toru Honda finds herself living with the Soma family, consisting of three cousins: Yuki, the Prince Charming of their high school; Kyo, the hot-head, short-tempered outcast; and Shigure, the mischievous novelist, if not sometimes that of a pervert. Toru finds out the Soma family's secret that when a member is hugged by the opposite gender or they are tired out, they turn into the 12 animals of the Chinese zodiac. Filled with many lovable characters and many plot twists along the way, life at the Soma house will never be the same again.
There you have it. That is the background on Fruits Basket. It's so cute. It's very fun, bubbly anime with some dark moments, but we absolutely love it. I would say the first time I watched it was 2008.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, 2008.
I don't know if that was my first time too, but it was one of my, I watched it so many times, it was probably one of my first times too.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I'm gonna go ahead and say I never read the manga. I never read the manga. The manga is very long, and I think the manga came out around the same time. It actually came out a little bit before the original anime did, because they were, you know, trying to keep up with each other. The first original anime started to follow the manga in the beginning, but then because, you know, the manga wasn't done yet and they were pumping out the episodes so fast that they just kind of did their own thing. But I never read the manga. So did you read it?
I read, like, middle school me, right? Power skimmed it. I know what happens at the end. So, like, there are, like, big things that, like, the remake is forecasting. I'm like, oh, I know what happens. But, like, the little details, I'm like, that could have happened. But in general, like, I skimmed it enough. I was in middle school. There's, like, 30 or 40. There's a lot. But I know what happens at the very end, like, the big thing.
So, I will go ahead and say about the new remake. First of all, why do you think it was necessary that they made a remake?
I think it was, like any amazing show, right? Because we loved it so much, deserves to be brought in for the new set of anime bingers. And I think, too, it wasn't finished, right? It's like the ending, even like when we watched it, kind of felt unsatisfying. It was like, oh, this is a good bite of the sandwich. Where's the rest of the sandwich? Because it kind of just stopped at a certain point. So I think it would do justice to the show because it was so good and so popular to, like, finish the narrative. You know?
Yeah, I totally agree. Like, honestly, I think the reason why it was so necessary is because it wasn't finished. And if it was finished, I apologize, that was my cell phone.
Woo! Winter.
Okay. Anyway, if it had been finished, I don't think they would have done a remake, but yeah, it just wasn't completely, like, satisfying. So I'm actually really happy they did do a remake, because Fruits Basket is one of my favorite animes ever. It has really a lot of different elements in it. It's not action at all. It is, you know, romance, comedy, drama, you know, whatever. But it's cute, but it is a lot of fun to watch. So when we found out that they were making a remake, we were through the roof. I didn't know what to expect. So I will go ahead, we can go ahead and talk about our pros and cons list of this new 2019 anime. So, once again, I'm gonna go ahead and say, I have watched the original 2001 or whenever it came out anime 1,000 times, and I am not exaggerating. I've watched that anime like we're the type of people who watch DVDs to sleep, so we have, like, just, it's been on repeat. Yeah. Like, we have watched, I literally have every word of that anime, like, stitched into my mind. So some of the problems that I do have with the new one is kind of picky, and I am going to fully acknowledge that right now. These are my opinions, her opinions. Right. So yeah, this is go ahead and let you know. So I would say the pros of the new one is that they 100% stuck to the characters' personalities.
Oh yeah.
They didn't stray from that at all. I mean, because really, the artwork is updated, of course. It's much crisper. It's in HD. It's, higher quality. It did just come out this year, so it does look different, but not too different to where you're like, I don't even recognize who this is supposed to be. Everybody looks pretty much the same, just in 1080p, to be honest with you. So that is really good. Yeah, like I said, the personalities completely on point, and I will say the voice acting too.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if they got that.
We watched it dubbed. I don't know.
Yeah, we watched it dubbed. So the original and the remake was both dubbed. I prefer to watch it dubbed, but I will say that the voice actors for the most part really did sound the same. I don't think they got back the same exact voice actors, but they sounded a lot like the original, except Momiji Soma. Now, before we get into Momiji, we're gonna continue the pros of the list.
Let me just say something about the graphics really quick. Not only is it better and crisper, the men are finer. Like, they just look better. Like that little chest peak a lot of them have is like. So
yeah, you watch it and you'll be like, I don't remember so and so being this fine. For example, Shigure, like, he has on his robes and everything like that, and you're like, wait a second, like they showing a lot of chest and a lot of everything. So that was definitely a pro. Keep up the good work at the anime studio. Okay. More in depth about the story and the background of the characters. The thing is that in the original one, everything wasn't, I'm not going to say it was generalized, but everything wasn't explained, I guess, as it should have been. But if you only watched that one, you would have been fine with it. Like, you still would have understood the story. You still would have known what was going on and known about the characters. But after watching the remake, they did a much better job of really explaining to you the people in the Soma family, Toru's background. You even get a much more descriptive story detail on her mother and the relationship with her mother, which plays a huge part in the show. That's like one of the biggest things about the show. So the fact that you get more detail with that is really necessary. It was really good.
And in the main one, like the one we watched right from 2001, it's like it was always alluded to that her mom was a big deal, but it was like, oh, my mom used to say, and then they'd get back to like present time, whereas here will be like, my mom used to say, and then you go to that scene. It's like you're fully getting that in-depth level, which I think kind of adds something that the first one was lacking, was like, what are those experiences with her mom that were so important that like they're revealing to the relationship she has today. So that was really good to see that.
Yeah, for sure. You get her mother's personality so much more, and it makes you more attached to the anime too, because when you watch the first one, her mother dies, not in the show, she's dead previous to the show, but you feel sad, but in this new one, you really do feel for Toru, because you really see into their relationship. Not only do you see into their relationship, but Toru's two best friends, you see why all of them were so close. Because you see the role that her mother played with Hanajima and Uotani. So, I mean, I think they did a great job with those backgrounds and that lush story, and they are giving you much more with that. Just more detail. I think it's really good, especially if you did read the manga. When they make something into a show, you want details. Just like if you read a book and you see a book series and they make it into a show or into a movie, really a movie, you understand that you can't have every single detail into a 2-hour plus movie. But when you have a show, you have seasons. You know what I mean? You have time to draw it out. And one thing I do like is they do say, like, it is season 1. So that's good that you know that there is going to be more. But they're taking their time. They're explaining everything so you really understand. So the detail is fantastic in this remake for sure.
Even we talked about her mom, like Mobiji's story is explained more. You know, like him being blonde. You know, like that's something that's explored. So
yes, and I will say for Momiji, a lot of the Soma family, because of they turn into their zodiac animal, they're cursed by that or whatever, they take on the color, their hair takes on the color of the animal that they are. So for example, Kyo has orange hair, naturally orange hair, because he's an orange cat, you know, whatever. Momiji is like this blonde bunny, but, pardon me, the reason he's blonde, which I don't know if they said this in the manga. I didn't read it.
I don't remember.
But in the original, they never said anything about the fact that his mother was white, a white German woman. In this one, they said, you know, yeah, I'm half German. I'm German and Japanese. Now, here's my problem with that. I don't care that he's mixed. I don't have a problem that he's German. I don't like his voice. In the dubbed version and the original version, he just sounded like a cute little kid. He sounded like everybody else, you know. They get American actors to dub it. But in this one, he had a German accent, which didn't make any sense because we're assuming, one, once you go through Momiji's story, he didn't grow up with his mother. So it doesn't make any sense for his German accent to be so strong. Two, we're assuming he didn't grow up in Germany either. This takes place in Japan. So why is that German accent
so
strong? It really kind of turned me off. I didn't like that so much about the new Momiji. I just did not like his voice at all. I can understand that they wanted to do that to really make people understand, like, this is why he looks how he looks, or, you know, whatever, but I was not with the campaign. I'm not gonna lie, I did not like Momiji's voice in this. Love Momiji, I love Momiji, but I wasn't a fan.
Yeah, it was a hard no, but, you know, besides that, you know.
Right. Another con is that the story kind of feels switched up in some places. For example, in the original Fruits Basket, we got Hitori's story much sooner, and I know that that's kind of, it doesn't make any sense to say because of how crazy it followed the manga, but they kind of did that in the new one. Like, they had an episode where, you know, Hitori calls Toru to see him about something, and in the original, when he does that, he's like, come meet me at Soma house, da-da-da-da-da, and then we get Hitori's story. And this one, we see the phone call, but we never get the episode of who Hitori is and what his story is. So it was weird, because I was like, why did you leave that out? That's also very important to the story. And throughout the episodes, they keep going back to it, but we still haven't heard Hitori's story. Now, we have watched up until episode 19, because on Funimation, it gets released every week. So we are fully caught up to all the episodes. I don't know if they will go through Hitori's story. I'm sure they probably will, but we've gone through 19 episodes and haven't gotten it yet. And in the original, we definitely had Hitori's story by episode 5 or 6. So it just felt weird and out of place. But again, if they're following the manga to a T, I am not sure compared to the manga, because I never read it. So they could be right. They could be doing everything, but because, you know, if you didn't read the manga and you read and you watched the original like we did, or like I did, it feels weird.
Even if you, like, this was your first instance, like, this is you're a Fruit Basket virgin, this is your first time watching Fruit Basket, period, they keep referring to it, right? Like, there's a part where, like, she sends him chocolates. Why would you send him chocolates if he's just like a cousin? You know, like, they keep referring to it as if that scene has happened and the audience is supposed to understand. So I think if I hadn't seen it, I'd be confused. Like, where is this relationship she has with him that never was built?
Yeah, especially because up to that point, she gets a relationship with all of the other cousins so far. So the fact that Hattori at this point had been left out was just weird. I don't know what they're saving that for or whatever, but that is something that I didn't necessarily like too much.
Yeah.
Another con is, and this again is something picky. From watching the original one, it's so funny. It's such a funny, goofy anime. And I was missing some of those moments this time around. Don't get me wrong, it is still very funny.
Indeed.
But, like I said to you guys earlier, I know the original word for word. So I was kind of expecting some of that same language to be in the new one, and it wasn't, and so it made certain scenes less funny. Now, like she said, if you've never seen Fruits Basket, or honestly, if you
just watch it once,
didn't watch it as much as we watched it, you would probably still find it funny. So again, that's something that's very picky. That's really not a con at all. That's just a personal thing. But yeah, I was missing some of those moments, and I will chop it up to the fact that it's 2019. Like they're still trying to keep things more modern. So they do say words or say things in a way that's much more updated and hip.
That's true.
But yeah, that's one small disappointment. You know, there was some moments where I really wanted that original goofiness, and you know, it didn't deliver.
Right.
But it is still very funny, so I still, you know, don't have a problem with it.
And I think some scenes that like used to not be funny are now super funny.
Oh
that
yeah,
makes sense. Like there's a new type of humor, I think, coming into it at a certain point.
Yeah, for sure, there definitely is, which I can 100% appreciate. Like Yuki in this anime to me is so much more funny than he was in the original.
Do you think he's actually funnier, or you are personally in a different headspace where you get his humor more?
It could be that too.
Because I think he's a little funnier too, but I think they're much more similar.
Yeah, I think especially when you grow and change with the anime, like then I was like all Kyo all day, but now it's like, damn, 10 years later, I definitely am feeling Yuki's stoicness and his just like unbotheredness. I love it. And I'm Year the Rat too, so I feel a lot of that energy that Yuki brings to the table, which is so great. It's so great. Another con is the soundtrack. And again, I think this is kind of picky. It's I'm not really liking the soundtrack too much. And by soundtrack, I don't mean like just the opening and the closing, but I think one thing that Fruits Basket, the original one, had a charm with the music. It was able to tell you how you should feel about the scene through the music. And like when there was goofy moments, or when there was a certain character on screen, like I know Momiji had his own song that would play, or Kyo had his own like little song that would play when he was getting ready to fight somebody. And Toru had her own song every time she gave some long-winded speech.
Did you give a demo?
It went like do 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 do.
You're welcome for that. You're welcome.
I mean, like, it was really great. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I really miss that. And in this one, there really isn't any music or anything like
Especially
that.
throughout the episode.
Not really throughout the episode, which is something I kind of miss because it added a charm to the show.
Like the Haru Kyo fight, like that music slapped in the original.
I will say Hatsuharu, who's my favorite character.
Who's the cow? Okay, let's go for it.
That is my man. Don't mess with my man. I'll be the one I break it to ya. Yeah, that's
Layla singing hour.
that is a man, honey. Anyway, Yeah, I was very upset. Not very upset, but I did notice it. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't really feeling that. But again, it's 2019, and in terms of the opening, like, I absolutely love the opening and the closing to the old anime, but this new one, like I said, better graphics. It definitely feels updated, so I can't even hate. I think I really like what they did with it. I think they really are doing it justice. So yeah, if you ever watch the original after you watch the new one, I guarantee you're gonna like the new one better. You know what I mean? Like, the old one had its time and had its era. So I would recommend, if you do want to compare for yourself, watch the old one first, then watch the new one. But the new one definitely gives it a run for its money, especially the accuracy at the end of the day. Like, anybody who likes books, manga, whatever, like, when they make something into a show, you want it to be accurate. You want it to portray the actual story that the author had in mind. So that's the most important at the end of the day, and the new one definitely does deliver. Any specific characters that you want to talk about?
What's her name? The boar.
Kagura?
Kagura. She just has energy, and I appreciate the fact that they kept up her level of erraticness. That's my year. And two, Kyo is still fine. He's still my favorite, regardless of the newness. I guess Akito or Akita, I appreciate that they shared that she was a woman very overtly this time. Yeah,
real quick, let's go ahead and talk about that. In the manga, Akita or Akito, I think it is Akita, right?
I'm not gonna lie, I can't.
It's Aki something. She's a woman in the manga, and in the original Fruits Basket, they made her a man.
Right.
It was Akito.
Right.
And in this one, it's definitely, she's more, I mean, she is like kind of masculine, but you can tell by her voice that she is a woman this time around. They do still call her Akito, though, don't they?
I can't remember. No, I
think they do still call her Akito,
probably.
Even though
that might be their name. It's Akito. Like, truly, it could be her name. I don't remember.
Even though it's a girl. So yeah, that was good. I don't know if that bothered a lot of people. I think, once again, people like things that are true to the original. So I think the fact that they made it accurate, because again, Akito is a huge part in the story. Like, the whole story is kind of centered around that person, low-key. So the fact that they made that how it needed to be is good. I mean, that's, again, everybody wants accuracy, so.
Yeah. Kyo's still my favorite, just in conclusion. He's bae.
Hatsuharu Soma, all day, every day.
Oh, yeah. He is finer now, I will say, because I was like, before I was like, oh, Haru's cute, but now I'm like, that's kind of a man. He's
not kinda, baby. Period. He's a man. That's it. Alright, so let's do this. Not comparing and contrasting. Overall rating for the new Fruits Basket.
On a scale
1 to 10.
Or just by itself?
By itself.
Okay.
On a scale 1 to 10. 10 being, I absolutely live and die by this remake. 1 being, it's doo-doo.
Okay.
What would you say?
Ooh, you already knew the question, so you can go first. I need to think about it.
8. You can.
Okay.
You can.
We decide.
8. And the reason I give it an 8 is, it is a phenomenal, great show, but honestly, the original is always going to have a place in my heart. That's just what it is. But 8 obviously is still a really high score, so. But yeah, it's just because I just hold so much love in my heart for the original, but yeah, definitely an 8. The show delivers. It, like I said, has all those elements. It's an important show. Like, it does cover awesome topics like loss and death, trauma,
friendship,
wanting to fit in and finding your place as a young person in the world, and you know, that the grass is not always greener, and understanding people and not making assumptions. So the show definitely does have a lot of important themes on top of that. The original did too. I'm talking about the show in general, but it is just a great show. So yeah, I definitely give it 8 out of 10.
Okay, well, I definitely agree with that number for sure. I think to give it its own fair rating, if I had never watched the original, it would be a 9. Like, I mean, it slaps. Everything's great. The humor's great. The characters are amazing. I think it's a little bit darker. I think, like, for me, I think there are some scenes, like, the humor's a little bit darker, things a little bit funnier. So, as I'm, like, a little bit older now, I appreciate that darkness at a certain point. Like, it's not just, like, an anime that you're gonna, like, let your 8-year-old cousin watch. Like, Squad can watch it. You know what I'm saying? So, I appreciate that. So, by itself, completely alone, I've never seen anything else, I've never read anything, a 9.
A 9?
Yeah, because it's really good. But, like, compared to the other one, because it's missing that bubbliness, like, there are certain things, like, Shigure was, like, a big perv in the original, and now he's, like, a kind of perv. I missed that. Like, I was attached to his perviness. Like, it would be, like, a 7, I think, if I was comparing it. But, regardless, remarkable. Watch it. You'll regret it if you don't, so just watch it.
Yeah. Team Fruits Basket, honestly. If you need a fun, cute little show to watch, and I guess if you're trying to get into anime,
It's a good starter.
yeah, I think it's a good starter. And I will tell you, anime is weird, okay? There's a lot of original, unique things that you ain't gonna get out of America. I'm gonna tell you right now. So, watch it. Watch that one, start with that one, and you never know, you could end up liking it and finding other anime that is like that. Because another really awesome thing about anime in general is that there's so much.
Yeah.
There's so much, okay? So you literally can find an anime to suit you and your personality.
Different strokes for different folks.
And you can find it. I promise you. There's so many things. So, yeah, give it a shot. Please. Watch it. And if you've already watched Fruits Basket and you have yet to watch the remake, please go and watch it. It's good. I think that you will enjoy it a lot. Once again, we watched the dub version on Funimation.com, and I think they drop new episodes for that every Friday.
The original is on Hulu, if you guys want to.
Yeah, the original anime from back in the day is on Hulu, so go and watch that if you want to watch that. And I think the subbed version is on Crunchyroll. So go look into that. So yeah, this video is not sponsored by any of them.
But it could be.
But it could be. But it's not. So these are all our true feelings right here. So yeah, guys, that's it. That's it. That's it. Go watch Fruits Basket.
Please.
Period. Anything else you want to say to the good folks?
Nah, appreciate you for having me. This was good.
No problem. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. This is the first Lay the Great reviews. If you like this video, then like the video. Comment any questions or concerns, or, you know, just
your favorite scenes if you watch both of them.
Yeah, talk to us. Talk to us in the comments down below. Do your thing. And honestly, share it. If you know an anime lover and somebody who would, you know, mess with this campaign, go ahead and share the video to them. And before you do all of that, subscribe. Subscribe! Subscribe. Support the homie. Alright, that's it. Thanks guys for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video. Goodbye. Bye. So long. Farewell.
To you, my friend.
Bye.